Good evening, friends. Thank you for such a great introduction, and thank you for remembering Nayak, one of my favorite films, Shankar, director whom I admire. Thank you, Vicky. Thank you, all of you all. Sandeep, for making this happen, Shobita, Aditya, all of you all. And thank you, Dizzy, plus Star, and the entire team, the producers and all. I'm really privileged and honored to be here. It's a great feeling, and coming to your question, how did I approach? I would be lying to you if I say that I didn't see the show, was not inspired by, or I was not a fan of Blue Laurie. Obviously, I had seen him in House, and then I saw The Night Manager, and I was completely taken aback by his performance. And of course, we both are two different looking people. Our presence, our personalities are different. I don't know. He's done a lot of theatre. He's been working since many years. Done television. He's, if you see his old television shows, he's a great comic actor. He's brilliant, absolutely. And great voice. And I said, "Na mere paas wo voice hai, na wo personality hai, na wo aankhein hain." And he just looks the part. So I said, will I be able to pull it off? And the way I am, I just go with instinct, with gut. And instinctively I felt it's a no-brainer. It's a great role. The entire team is fantastic, and I just said yes. And then I started thinking about it. I heard the script, what Sandeep and his writers had created. We heard it in one go. I just loved it. The Hindi adaptation. And then I started, the roles and characters don't happen overnight. It's like you keep on thinking about it, and just till you face the camera. Even when you face the camera, in the first few days, sometimes you go right, sometimes it takes a little time, and you keep on understanding. कभी-कभी तो रिलीज के बाद पता चलता है कि कैरेक्टर क्या है. So but you just go with the flow, and that's what I did, and I'm so happy that people have liked the show, and love the character of Shailendra Singh bol raha hu, Shailendra.
He's Shailendra Singh Rohta, so you're not entirely wrong. But I was more curious about the villain part of it. Like, how did you say? Because we don't see him doing anything evil.
I don't look at anything of villain or hero. Or from the time I started my career, if you see the films I've done, the kind of people I've worked with, the directors I've worked with, and if I did a Telugu film, I did a Kannada film, then I did MS Satyu's Kahan Se Guzar Gaya. I'm sure people have, I don't know if I want to educate them, but that's one of my first films I did with Satyu Sir. And where I almost played a very kind of a character who's trying to find himself and ultimately becomes the way the father is, a complete capitalist. So I've done weird stuff from the beginning of my career. So I don't go what is, villain and hero. I like my role, I like the people, I feel it's going to be a great journey. And I just say yes to it, and so that's what it is. People who are seeing me as a hero, so Joe role will get beggars can't be choosers. When I started my career, first decade, obviously they were choosing me, and then I started choosing some films. I came to a situation where I could choose films. And then, for me, it's always the director, the filmmaker, the writer, writing what's on paper, and then I take a decision, hero, villain, or character, or supporting role, which way. I just do it,
This, the Ravan of the show, did that have any bearing on how you approach it? Because he's called as the Ravan, right, throughout. Like, did you take any inspiration from, like, Ravan?
बहुत का सौदागर रावण है. Obviously, when I read, when I was really researching for the role, and I was how to go about it, so I was reading all the interviews, all the articles of everybody, trying to find something on the YouTube, something, there are Indian, who are these, if I can find someone who is an arms dealer in India, but I couldn't find anything. I just couldn't find anything. So, the book is fantastic, the writing was so terrific, and then I used my own imagination you already was there for inspiration. All these things, keeping all these in mind and slowly, steadily. I was, what happens is, what is the role, the character, and something about your personality also is there. It's always there, what you are as, and then the character. So it's a combination of both. And what you see is me as a person also, and me as a character also. There are a lot of things which are me in that film, like what I am, certain things, how I'm a family man, there's certain things, how I react to my friendships, my passion for work. So and my passion. So you just use all these memories, certain things in what you have, and use it in the character, and use when you perform. It's a long process. Is too long. I have to sit with you for hours to tell you.
I love the humanity you gave the character as a concerned father, as a smart, strategic businessman. All of that differently as they came out really beautifully. I have a lot more questions for you, but I'm going to go to Aditya Roy Kapoor here. I'll first get to Sandeep because it has something to do with this. In terms of adaptation, these changes that you made, and Sridhar is not here, so maybe you can enlighten us. What was the most important thing that you thought you have to deviate from the original to adapt it to the Indian audiences? Do you, when we are making shows in India, is there a need to say this is black, this is white, this guy is good, this guy is bad? Because conventionally we don't see Mr. Kapoor do anything evil in the show, right? Like he's a charming man, he's just being charming. So, and we're still supposed to believe he's dangerous and diabolical and he's villainous and all that. But mostly we've seen in Indian movies or Indian shows, there's a clear hero villain, black, white, which is not all that clear in your show. So what was the thinking behind the adaptation part of it for India?
Hi everyone. Firstly, I know we've been talking to the writers a lot, so that's Sridhar, Akshat, Shantanu. Also, I have a co-director, Priyanka, who are not here. So, of course, we're talking on behalf of everyone. I think, first of all, it's a very exciting panel for all of us to be here because we're talking to peers, people who have probably been in similar shows, who probably understand the troubles of adaptation. There are many pitfalls, many a slip between the lip and the cup here. I think there were two viewpoints which we approached this from. One was when you doing an adaptation. This is the second time I'm doing an adaptation. The first time was season 1 of Arya, which I was the co-creator on. And in both the cases, the question we were asking ourselves is, why are we adapting it? And how do we make the story feel like it's coming from our heart and our land? This was the key question. ये कहानी क्यों हमारी है? Why not just dub it in Hindi and watch it? They are great actors in any case, right? Why would you just do that? Why would you want to see Anil Kapoor, Shobita, Adi do it? It has to come from our own point of view to the world. And somewhere the thing which we went by is like, what are the things which we think we can change to make it more Indian, more us? Better or worse is for everyone to judge. But for example, the opening episode, the question we always asked ourselves is, what makes a regular guy or a regular girl, anyone who, like one of us, having a everyday job, turn around a life and become a spy? Right. And the question is, it has to be the John Le Carre or even the original writers of the British show. They all went by the idea that it is love. But we thought, what is deeper than love? And we thought guilt. एक 14 साल की बच्ची जब मर जाती है, the guilt of that will weigh heavier on your soul than anything else. So we took a lot of calls based on a very unpopular line, which I'll say, कि हम like when they asked me whether I want to work on this adaptation, I said there are more things I want to change than the things I want to retain. So are you sure you want to retain me then? And yet at the same time, across the world or anywhere where I've traveled, or including this set, there were many fans of the show. Many people who love the show. Despite the same thing which I see as a flaw, someone else sees it as a बहुत अच्छा था. So the approach to that has been I would say, the joy which me and Sridhar had to tackle Some places we've absolutely followed our gut. Some places we've said, I think this is an audience winner. Let's just allow it to float and see how it feels. But even after the writing, through the whole process of our workshops with the actors, I know workshop is an often abused term, but genuinely in this one, the amount of time Adi, Shobita, Anil sir and everyone, Tilotama, everyone spent on the character. Like Anil sir, he doesn't talk about it. He has a lal diary. Okay? When you go to his house for a discussion, randomly he's called you at like 7:30 saying, Sandeep, you up? There's a message I got. Sandeep, you up? You said, yes sir. Of course you're not up. Your phone is just buzzing. And he said, come see me. Let's just have something to chat about. Can you come? And you don't know what is going to come. And you reach his house like lal diary aati. It's written all these questions of character. Who's this character? Where does he come from? Why is he saying this line? Why this? Homework करके आना पड़ेगा to answer it. So everyone's really put in a lot of their heart and made it their own. Like Rumta, the last name, it came through discussion with sir. We had named it something else, and then AK said, the name has to feel more specific, more interesting. The idea of making it shipping, all of that came through various discussions with Adi. You talking of the way we found the tone of character. We tried so many different things with it, and all of it came from Adi. None of it came from Tom or how the thing. It came from the material. How was he looking at it? And somewhere we found a stride and said, okay, let us go with it. And as sir says, sometimes you feel character समझ में आता है show खत्म होने के बाद, release होने के बाद. But sometimes you feel it in your heart in an instant. You feel like ये है, इसको पकड़ के रखो, इसको मत छोड़ो. So most of our conversations which me and Aditya always used to have between each schedule be, Aditya, don't change anything. Don't change anything. I remember so many calls I would just say, Adi, change nothing. And since Shobita is here, our process with Shobita is beautiful. I'm happy he's given the mic to me first, because once she takes the mic, you're going to be mesmerized with her answer. I think me and AK keep saying, Arey yaar, Shobita is on the panel. We should speak first.
It's a manual, it's just men talking. And also, like, I'm really glad that
nobody would have taken a picture also. Can I share something? Very interesting, because there are a lot of people in the industry and media aware. So I was in London very quickly, and we were promoting Slumdog Millionaire. So I was sitting with a team of Pathe, and he says, kya hai? Even if the President Obama, if he comes alone, there won't be so many photo ops. He might be on the second or third page, but if he comes with his wife, there'll be, it'll be a front page news. So, photo to आनी चाहिए सब जगह, छवि लगाना बहुत ज़रूरी है. And she speaks so well, even Michelle speaks so well. So over to you, our Michelle.
Shobita, I'm glad you exist, because what you've done to the landscape is that you play a lot of South Indian characters. Your name is Kaveri in this. So also you embrace your accent, and here you play a woman with mystery, right? There's so little we get into her real self, because she says, I don't want to see anyone, I don't want anyone to see me cry. So how did you approach this? How do you create mystery about this character who the audience is not supposed to know too much about, but slowly discover who she is? Because you get very little footage, and in that you need to capture it. So how do you approach this as an actor, and your whole persona, real life persona, becoming the character?
Good afternoon, everyone. This is such an august gathering, so many intelligent people, and with my team saying all these nice things about me, I'm absolutely terrified about sounding like an idiot. I mean, Kaveri is a river in the south, but I don't think that has any connection to me playing someone from south in this. It's not tied up. I think the connection with the name has more to do with water and what it represents. Water can be still, but it can be very deep, and so often the currents can change from day to night. From like her life is very turbulent, much like water, but there's also it's serene. So we thought there was an interesting parallel, and I really liked the name. I thought it represents her quite beautifully. As for I don't look at characters in terms of how much footage they have. I don't think it's the most significant thing at all. In the larger arc of the character, there are a lot of answers. Answers should not be given, they should be arrived at, is what I feel. And I feel like with her character, we know and we see as much as we need to. And sometimes you want to lean a little bit closer to hear her better, to know what lies simmering beneath the surface. And I think that's really nice writing. So I didn't feel the need for more. It was enough. And I don't think mystery is created. I think when you say as much as you have to, and I guess it's not a blabbering character, so it was easy to retain that. And much credit to the way it was written, the way it was shot, and the way the primary characters interact with her. So how you are with me is very different from how you are with your partner, your parent, your friend. But the minute one sees you in all these perspectives, they get a better understanding of who you are, right? But if Kaveri is seen only from the perspective of her lover, her partner, and from this special creature, we don't really know her from any other perspective. So maybe holding back is what gives her that mystery.